appears that we are. Not sure what the quality's looking like yet. What's the stream quality like, guys? Okay, it looks like it's clear on YouTube now. It's cleared up. Awesome. What's going on, Coin Observatory? Thank you tuning in tonight's live stream. I have not streamed in a few weeks. I apologize for that. Main reason is I was having a lot of echo in this room and my internet was really laggy. I tried to resolve the echo problem. I got foam padding on all these walls that are in this area, and I do get a new ISP, 1 gig fiber, right? 1 gig fiber optic internet, 1 gig internet. This week is when they install. So that being said, we're gonna go back to streaming regularly. I hate having bad quality streams, whether it's audio or just a laggy connection. It's not good for you. It's not good for me. It's not good for anyone. Looks like we're unable to connect via chat on YouTube. I don't know why. You guys getting that? If you can't join this chat on YouTube, check the stream on Facebook. You can't type comments here. Facebook stream. Alright, so I'm going to be taking comments and questions and chart suggestions from Facebook when it's time to. I don't know why YouTube is doing that. If you just want to watch and not comment and not be interactive, you can watch the stream on YouTube. Alright, so that being said, I want to say I'm really proud of everybody, especially you guys that decided to trade both opportunities. I've been saying that markets are bubbling since June, since we started these streams, and they sure have, right? For you guys that are trading options with us, and this is TMX equity curve. We made 73% last week, 174% last month, and then 1,400% in the last 3 months. That being said, I did something crazy. I didn't announce it. I was doing like a small account challenge with myself, for myself. And I'm writing about this. I'm probably going to publish this in about a little over a week is going to be the release. And I'm also going to release all the trades, like the actual monthly statement that Robinhood sends you. That way nobody can say, no, you're full of shit, because we're not, because I made this happen. So I took this Robinhood portfolio from 591 to 38,000 in the last 90 days, right? From June until now. And like, so that count live, right? So you can see June, I had like a 510. I did withdraw some funds from here. But you know, all in all, it's up 38,000 profit in the last 3 months. So 70, stupid. I did withdraw money. That's why the equity curve is really throwed. But it's almost, it's like at 7,800% is what I did. And you know, this bubble's not over yet. I don't think it is. And that was just, you know, the Robinhood portfolio. You guys with the really big ROE returns on Derbit and Mex. You guys know we're doing pretty good, man. We're kicking butt. I didn't get to stream last week, but if you guys that are wondering, did we catch a BTC short? I did signal on 817. We did short the top at like right under 1249. That was 12,491 was our stop, and we longed. Where did I signal the long? Right down here at like 112220 just a few days ago. And yeah, so we longed down here 1122 and shorted up here. So we've got this hedge going. Currently BTC is doing a DBW, descending broadening wedge. Ether is kind of doing the same thing. Ether broke out. It's still leading the rally. There's gonna be so much I'm gonna cover today, and excuse me if it's all over the place. I have not quite gotten my bearings back to streaming. You know, I haven't done this in a while. Let me know how the audio is. I did a lot of work to get this foam installed. I'll put some pictures in Discord. If you're not in Discord, there's a link to Discord in the video description. Make sure you drop in there. Okay, so BTC, what I'm expecting, right? Last week I did tweet a few charts out. Go ahead and just kind of readjust my my screen for you guys. So I did put out a few tweets. There was this channel, the parallel channel. We've seen them happen before on BTC, and most of the time they're bullish, right? So we've seen them here, right? And there was another one here, and you could be doing the same thing. There's also that gap. And this would be the channel here, and this is kind of a breakout. There's still the gap below, right? So there is the channel, and we could see like a steeper liquidity grab type move that could potentially happen, right? And the channel has kind of been, I think it's been invalidated, right? Because it was kind of like right here when I was eyeing it, and then it broke down, but we did long here based on another strategy that we use. I'm not going to give away a lot of edge. I'm just briefly going to do an update, right? So we could be doing something like that to go up and go higher. I'm not looking to add short until we go up at least 61.8 retracement of this last move, right? So if I'm gonna short this up move, if this is a dead cat, I think it's way too soon. I'm just gonna go ahead and adjust my alerts to 11.959. I did put out this update this morning when I woke up and saw the descending broadening wedge, right? So this would be the area of interest, and if it goes higher, then we're looking at like 12.8. Moving on to Ether, it's above the 61. Ether on the daily, guys, it looks fantastic. It looks fantastic. Right? This is the retest zone. Didn't really get down there, but if we get a close above 447, 437, right? This zone right here, this previous resistance, if we can push higher on ETH, then this 476, 532 are the next targets. And then we might get into a blow off. There's a lot moving Ether, right? There's a lot of fundamentals moving Ether. I'm not a big fundamental trader, but the Uniswap guys, those swappers, so much Ether locked into swaps. There's ETH 2.0, so there's a lot of Ether being locked into nodes. People are buying Ether to lock them up into nodes. One chart I've been telling you guys, just go long, buy all the dips, do it on margin. Been an Ether maximalist since really September 2019, and it's starting to play off, right? We look at this weekly chart, and I do think that we might see some explosive gains out of ETH in the coming weeks, and hopefully before these futures expire, right? So hopefully you get to see some kind of trend acceleration like we did here, and where we get this big ETH BTC run up, because based on BTC, Ether's all-time high was 0.15, and I think it's very much undervalued, still undervalued in terms of BTC price, right? So you guys know that was my biggest position on margin from down here, and it still is, right? Because this will help me weather USD fluctuations. And what are some targets? Ironically, this one's been pretty hard to fib, right? Because like this move, I didn't short it. We didn't exit our longs, and we made a heaps, and then it retraced and then pulled back up on the next future. But like the actual 61.8, I think it was right here, right? So now we have to test like 389, 425, 463. But if we do get consolidation on the 1.0 fib right here, right, we're above it now, and if we break out from this zone, I'd like to see like the next move up to 0.06. That's just what I'd like to see. I'm not saying it's for sure going to happen. All right. Back to the stock market bubble, right? I mean, this has been really profitable for me, for you guys in VIP too. I mean, we're buying calls for like, and I'll did put some of the positions in here that we traded. I'm not gonna talk about all of them, just like highlight some things that really went well and some things that we could have done better. And you guys have seen us, buy calls for $182 that ended up being worth, 1,100, and then $2,000, and then 1,800, right? So yeah, this has been another opportunity that I've been wanting to capitalize on. We did capitalize on, and we're going to continue to capitalize on. And for you guys that are like in the UK, you guys in Australia, we've got members and team members and subscribers who are actually doing the same thing on Tastyworks. I haven't used the platform, but some of the international guys have, and it gives them the exact everything that we have access to, really. So you guys can actually trade options. It requires a little bit more verification than trading crypto, but looking at the opportunity here, we started trading this 3 weeks ago, and we've done really well. So this bubble is going to continue. I don't think it's over. But where are we now? What am I expecting? If you guys remember my December publication, let's kind of pull up the S&P too, because this is very relevant. Remove drawings. I just got to find the fib set that I had back then. And I called the big retest coming. I said that rally was still speculative, and we're going to see a crash on a weekly basis, and then COVID happened, right? Why did I say that? Is because the S&P really shot up way too high above a fib level without properly retesting it, and then the actual retest came all the way back down to 215, and this was on a weekly basis, right? Now it looks free and clear to clear 306. The QQQ, I don't know if it has enough steam, right? I don't know if there's enough steam to just shoot up to the next fib target, because the next long-term fib target, right, is 388. It's pretty insane. So we could see something like this take place, right? I'd like to see some kind of pullback to 286 personally, even though we're leveraged long to the T, right? We do want to see some kind of sideways action, or maybe a little more of a bump up, so we can find the next neck, the next short, right? To have short exposure before we get a sell-off, because if you go past 286, we can go down to 257, right? And before continuing up, and that's just it's just the nature of bull markets, right? Those liquidity grabs. The market only goes to a newer high after it does a liquidity grab, and that's something that I've said over and over and over about BTC going on a weekly basis, right? So we see all these sell-offs here before a bull run, right? And this one, and this one, right? And this one, right? And this one. You guys can see all those, right? So in a bull market, right, you're gonna get these pullbacks, these sell-offs, the quote-unquote crashes, and I actually write about those in the article too. So you guys are not subscribed to us on Medium, go ahead and click subscribe, because I talk about the difference between a bear break and liquidity grab. And the biggest mistake anybody did, right, was thinking this was a bear break. This was a liquidity grab, the COVID crash on Bitcoin. Because what happened? We went to a newer high after the last last four highs, right? BTC made a new high above those, and it didn't come back down. So I'm not going to name call them, right? I'm not going to call them out, but a lot of quote-unquote traders with followings, were shorting under 7K. They were shorting, under 71, they were shorting here, oh, we're gonna go back down, and even on the crash, some people oh, we're gonna go back down to 1800, right? And that's the thing, recognizing these liquidity grabs and capitalizing on them is great, right? And what did I say once we broke above 92, right? Once we broke this wedge trend line, I said, guys, I'm not gonna hedge until 12.3, and that's why we shorted 12.3 on 8.17 just a few weeks ago. It was just a hedge for the pullback. How many guys we got on Facebook? I can't see how many guys are live watching on Facebook right now. Alright, this is gonna be if you guys want me to look at charts, please drop them in Discord. I'm gonna pull up Discord on another screen. Just drop them in tails of the crypto, and I'll pull your charts from here. All right. I'm still pushing content. I don't know what's going on. Sweet. So you guys want me to look at, interestingly, I'm getting more stock requests over altcoin requests, right? So Walmart, what do we do on Walmart? We've got 145 and 140 calls that are 816, right? So you still have 6 weeks for this to happen. If you guys, shit, my Walmart position is awesome. I did sell 5 out of my 20 calls, but I'm gonna pull this up right now in real time and show you guys why we're trading the stocks, right? So you guys can see that, man. Oh, you can't really see it. That's really sad. Maybe now you can. Anyways, I'm up 302%. I'm up $5,615 on this, which is 302%, right? So, anyways, looking at WMT, this was the earnings pump, right? And then it got sold off. And then what happened? Actually, let's zoom out. Our first Walmart trade of this run of this quarter was down here, right, when it was getting ready for a bull flag break, and we bought like 130 calls, and it pumped up there like the very next day on news. We did not know about the news, and yeah, that was Walmart Plus. And then on earnings, Walmart did not close a day during COVID, so it only made sense for it to keep going up. But it got clapped, right? It went up to 144, then it sold off right after earnings for no good reason. And it turns out that they had a bid for TikTok, right? And that's, that kind of was the next catalyst. But, had it been trading at 144 and, didn't get clapped, did not get, quote unquote, manipulated back down. I don't like using the M word, right? But, that's how markets work. It's like an irrational move. Everything's great. Why did it sell off, right? You got to think about it. There was more good news in the pipeline, right? If it didn't sell off, right, it would be like 169 right now. So Walmart, we're above the next zone where I would want to short, right? We're gonna retry 144, and I think if Walmart tends to be defensive too, it does go up when the market sells off. So I think our next target on this guy is going to be 169, right? And if we get any kind of sell-off back to this trend line, what am I going to do? I'm going to buy higher calls further out, like probably March 2021 169s, and let them run in the money, right? Because it's one thing that's been working for us. What did I compare this chart to a few weeks ago? I compared it to gold because it was literally doing the same thing. And that's when gold went parabolic. So let's go to the 3-day chart on gold. Right, and it kind of did a very similar consolidation. Right, and what happened here on gold, guys, like back in June, what I said buy 210 calls, and they didn't quite go in the money, but we made heaps on those, and I signaled my profit takes, and I think we're getting a continuation now on that. But you look at these two charts, and they pretty much have a very similar structure. So think of Walmart being over here right now, in terms if it was doing the same type of cycle. All right. Moving next, Spotify. I did buy some spot. Who wants spot? Hola, senor. I was hoping we'd get down to 224. We did not. And I was talking about what? Fib retests, right? That's what I talked about on the QQQ and SPY. And what happened here? Came back down to 257. Retest. There's a lot of support down here. This looks like a bull flag. I would expect continuation, right? One thing we got to keep an eye out on is the DXY, the dollar index. And yeah, so next target on this one is 352, and I have 350, 1016 calls. If we get a trend acceleration here, we're gonna get a bigger pump. Now, fundamentally, why are we seeing this kind of bullish price action? Why is everything going up? Why are we in a bubble? All the feds, all the central banks, they're all printing money. They're all going down to zero interest rates. So it's a lot of free money, aka you're not paying interest on it, and there's a lot of money being printed. And what that's gonna do is it's already causing hyperinflation, and it's not the price of bread that's going up. It's asset hyperinflation, right? People are like taking their money and buying these stocks before the next person can come in and buy these stocks. So we're practically in a bubble, right? We're in that hyperwave scenario that, if you go back to episode 1 of these streams, I had the chart drawn compared to BTC, the QQQ and BTC. And Spotify's tech, right? So I'm expecting, next target 352. We do have to clear some resistances though. Might get choppy. It might get choppy, right? So going back to the index, yeah. All right, Piton. Oh my God! Look at that. This is pure bubble, guys. $87 should be the next target. Yeah, 87. It's above resistance too. I don't know what it's done like intradays. Maybe not yet. If there's pullbacks, I would buy like December 87s. TSM. Taiwan Semiconductor, is that what we're looking at? T-Mac? It looks almost peaked out, right? I mean, $88 is like the next target on this one. So 80 to 88. I would look for something with more room to run, right? Personally, looking at a link. So Link USD, Link BTC. I'm gonna go over the Link USD chart. That's the one I've been trading. And let's do Coinbase is fine. And we're gonna run the major liquidity grab extension, right? Because that liquidity grab really was the catalyst for this move up. I do think Link can run up to 24, right? The next target on Link is gonna be 24. Hence, it has to take out the next high at 20. If it goes like super hyperbolic, plenty of bubble targets on Link, right? But I think the next resistance is going to be 24. All right, XTZ USD. XTZ has been the lagger, right? Usually, it's really correlated to Link. I don't know if it's gonna do the same thing, right? It might. But maybe it's just, I'm not gonna say it's peaked, right? Maybe it's just, achieved its value, like what the market should value it as. But it's been valued up here before the bubble, so we should see like another move to 4.7, maybe $8, right? Maybe $8. Possibly. Because you look at some assets, sometimes they take a long time to rally. Like ETH USD didn't quite rally as hard as BTC USD did last year, and it was just part of the cycle, right? So, that doesn't necessarily mean that Tezos is going to follow Link every time, right? Sometimes we get those correlation disconnects. All right, going over BA, Boeing. I do have a big Boeing position. I'm still looking for that 61.8 retracement on the way up, right? And I'm going to talk about some of these retracements in the medium post, guys and gals. So I'm still looking at 251. Boeing's like the biggest stock in the Dow, right? So if the Dow's going to go up, Boeing's going to make it do it, and you're just going to lift each other. and we know, you know, even in a bear market, even if Boeing was to be bearish indefinitely, like going back to like BTC, right? It's gonna need a 61.8 retrace at some point, right? Like back when Bitcoin was bearish, and we did have a big argument about this last week, and I figured, hey, I'm streaming, so let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about why I think we're not, you know, I think the bear market's over, right? So, from my perspective, a bear market's going to be a failure to rally past the 61.8, right? So here we had rejection to 61.8. You see that? And then, you know, sold back off, failed to close again, bull trap, and then it dumped some more, right? But you always, almost always, certainly get the 61.8 retracement off your last high. This one quite didn't do it. Maybe I'm using the wrong high. Nope, this one didn't do it. But then all the other tops did a 61.8 retracement, right? 61.8 rejected, 61.8 rejected. The next top, right? 61.8, right? And that's why I'm targeting the 61.8 on Boeing. So that, yeah. Even if it was going to stay bearish and go into a bear market, I think there's going to be a 61.8 retracement before it continues down, right? And here we see another one. The inverse happens in bull markets, right? So you get like 61.8 on the way up. So, you know, if we were to get another like flash crash on Bitcoin, if we were, I'm not saying we are, but if for some forsaken reason we get a meltdown, for the chart to be in a bull market, right, we want to see 71.14 hold, and that's kind of where I came up with that. And one of the VIPs messaged me, he's like, hey, you're saying we're going to 71? I said, we're not. I can't, you know, I wouldn't bet on going to 71. I wouldn't, but if we were to go down to 71, I would throw a lot of money at it. I think 1016 is enough. You know, if you want to extend, we'll wait for the next pump. And or what I would do, right, on BA, the next time it goes up, the next time it does one of those bullish engulfing candles, right, and right now, like, it doesn't look like it's going up, but if you traded this, like, you know, this is when I started this position, and I added here, and I added here, so it's just doing all these wedges, and they're starting to break out, right, so next time it does a breakout, we could sell off some of our 1016s, and then wait a few days for the next dip, right? I'm not saying exit all of them because we don't know if we're going to get a continued rally, because I've seen Boeing squeeze, guys. I've actually, like, one of my most profitable options trades ever. I think it was here. It was whenever Boeing was, like, crashing on the Max news, right? Whenever the airplanes were falling out of the sky and shit. And then Kevin and I saw a setup. Was it here, Kevin? I forgot what the date was, but I think it was this one. No, this was a December 18 crash. Anyways, when Boeing does a short squeeze, it goes, guys. It goes up. It does it really vigorously too. So, you know, just like this one, just like that one. So we might see that, and that's why I wouldn't scale out all the way, but I would sell off some, partial profit take, and then extend